Hi everybody, Russ from My Hammers 11. Hope you're safe and well. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hitting that bell notification icon thingamajig. Make sure you bang that because I don't want you to miss any stories. Obviously, we have videos going up daily, but sometimes 2-3 times a day. And every story, every memory, every interview is someone's experience, is someone's West Ham journey. So I wouldn't want you to miss any of them because every one of them is brilliant and sort of forms the fabric of West Ham more than ever. Today's guest, lifelong West Ham fan, it's Phil Pitt. Hi Phil, how you doing, man?
Hello Russ, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Lifelong sufferer, but yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Well, as I've said, if it's not about the football with West Ham, if it was, none of us would be West Ham fans, would they?
Absolutely right. Yeah, it's weird because you say to people you're a West Ham fan, especially people from abroad, and you have to explain who West Ham are, obviously.
Yeah.
Bobby Moore, yes.
Yeah.
But also, why you kind of follow that particular team when you've got a choice of the Man City's, Chelsea's, Liverpool's, whatever. And I don't know, it's bred into you, isn't it? It's just, I try to explain that roller coaster. We don't have a lot of ups at the moment. It's probably a very cheap roller coaster. But when we've had those ups in the past, you feel really, really high because you don't experience it very often. It's not like being that Man United fan during their golden era where they went out every game expecting to win by 3 goals.
Yeah.
And if they got a draw, or heaven forbid they got a loss, it was the end of the world. It was catastrophic. Social media, whatever it was at the time, would blow up.
Yeah.
Probably text groups and email groups and stuff.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love going out and going to the game and who are we playing today? Well, it's Watford. Well, that could quite easily go either way.
Yeah.
Huddersfield again could go either way. Spurs, I fancy our chances because we just seem to strap our boots tighter for bigger games, don't we?
Yeah. That's part of being a West Ham fan, isn't it? And you're right. We know, the roller coaster. It's no, Ramesses Revenge or anything like that. More like something down Peter Pan's playground down Southend.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, you're right.
Different reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very much so. But you're right in that that's why when we do have highs, they stick in the memory even more so. Because of that, and also I think we take a lot more small victories out of it. You know what I mean? I think people take, as you said, the sort of the Man Cities, the Chelseas, and the top fours, proverbials. If they'll win 2-0 at Burnley, whatever, then so what? But if we won 2-0 at Burnley, and everyone's been in the cricket ground beforehand, and we always add a bit more. There's like another layer of the victory in West Ham. We could do a few of them at the moment.
Our victory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we could do a few of them at the moment. It'd be nice to, I'll take anything at the moment, but it is what it is, and that's what's giving people time to reflect, isn't it? I think, and that's what sort of this channel was about, really, sort of reflection and nostalgia, and and looking back, because I think sometimes you have to look back to realise that actually, where we are now, obviously, is not great, but you see some of the other times we've had.
Listen, I don't want to make a particular club's group of fans. Yeah. We all know who they might be when I'm talking about them.
Yeah.
But they're very much invested in saying how great they are when they have a great result. Yeah. Not so great when they don't have a great result. And are very good at finishing third in a 2-horse race.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're very, they're up on themselves and to the point where it kind of sticks in your throat a little bit.
Yeah.
And I time and time again, I've been told by that set of supporters, you've got nothing to be proud of. What have you got to crow about? And it's like doing something like this and watching the interviews and, the likes of getting not just your Frankie Macks and your Tony Cotties, but your John Pansills and your Stevie Joneses on. That's part of our tapestry. That's part of our history. And yeah, we've got a great history. It might not be full of silverware, but bloody hell, have we got a tale to tell? From the brown out and from when I was a nipper, all the way up to like the move to the stadium and the whole sort of COVID mess. And do we start the season again or do we just write it off? So
Should have written it off, to be honest, but carry on.
well, I didn't want to say it would be easier all round. Just give Liverpool the title.
Yeah. They won it now, so just
2 weeks. And, it's fine.
We'll just call it now. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't looked at the table or anything. We'll call it now. It's all right.
Yeah, we're all right.
But you're right. You're totally right. And I think, you're right. And I was to think about it a bit more, like that. Obviously, that's sort of, I'd say from obviously the mid '90s, that era, that's sort of the Redknapp era. That was more of a soap opera than any other time. It was brilliant. As a West Ham fan, we finished fifth. We won silverware, won the Intertoto Cup in '99, but it was just excitement, weren't it? And I know what you mean. I mean, looking at that, the other fans, that other team you talk about. I mean, every time they lost, that was my Sunday viewing. Was going on their YouTube channel, just watching them having a row. And I don't think we had that sort of, there is dissension in the ranks, so to speak, in terms of fans all over the place. But I don't think ours is as bad. I think we, the collective West Ham family seems to have been in quite good moods until about 3 weeks ago. But but you know what I mean? It's just yeah. It just seems like a good bunch.
I don't know why they didn't call it Project Kickoff rather than Project Restart, but that's the FA's media department for you, I guess. But I mean, you mentioned
our former head of communications is head of communications for Premier League anyway. So
no comment. It's weird. You mentioned the Redknapp era, and obviously, there's a lot of water under the bridge since Redknapp left, and some of the phrases comments he said about always being a lifelong Spurs fan and stuff like that. That kind of sticks in the throat a little bit as a West Ham fan. But that era is, and the interview done with Chris Skull a couple of weeks ago.
Chrissy,
that really reminded me. I watched that and I just sat there nodding through the whole of that interview, especially the part he said about the Redknapp era. It's not, we didn't necessarily win things, but the team he assembled was as far-flung as it was ever going to be. He never quite got it all right at the same time.
No.
But what a bunch of players, and those special talents coming through the academy, and going out every week. I mean, the classic example of that is the 5-4 against Bradford.
Yeah, totally.
Now, bit of my memory is when the Premiership was 10 years old. The Sky TV reached out to the club and said, or the supporters club, and said, we want to interview a fan to say about the memories of the last 10 years of the Premiership. And we're going to get a fan from every single club who's ever been in the Premiership. So there were Barnes fans there as well. They only had 1 year. And I don't know how, but it ended up being me. So I don't even know if it's on YouTube. It's probably on someone's grotty video collection, if such a thing still exists. Not that kind of grotty video collection. But, well, I don't know. I used to be quite good looking anyway.
Depends, really, any light. Take yourself a certain light, and anything's possible. I mean, Adama Traore on Saturday, when he took his top off, straight as an arrow. Me, but I was like,
did you swoon?
It's these muscles. It's those ones. It's like, anyway, carry on. Sorry, Phil. It's a different podcast.
Yeah, we went to the Sports Cafe in London and just sat around, watched matches, and got interviewed basically while they gave us I think we had tokens for about 3 or 4 free drinks, to loosen the tongue a little bit. A few celebrities there, and it was good. And I was actually interviewed. One of the games they interviewed me about was that 5-4 game. The whole sort of Di Canio telling him I want to be subbed and sitting down. Grabbing the ball off of Lampard for the penalty, and Lampard obviously getting his own goal in that game as well, which thankfully I think softened the arguments post game. But I still get taken the pee out of by my mates because as I was being interviewed, I my phrase was, I knew we'd been in a game. We were well involved in that. I knew we'd been in a game. And even now, if we have a close 3-2 or something like that, I'll get a text, we've been in a game. I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks very much. But that Redknapp era was crazy. And it was almost one of those moments, what a time to be alive.
Definitely.
It was magical. It was surreal. It was frustrating, infuriating. But then you had players you never heard of turn up on your doorstep, like, Foe, for example,
Yeah.
Canute, and suddenly overnight become sort of terrace heroes,
Yeah.
and just say they get it. So,
Yeah.
great. Good
It
time.
was, yeah. And that Bradford City game, that was a microcosm of that era, wasn't it? In that, something like that happened every game. Every game, something like that would happen. And that was just, you turn up on a Saturday and, we got Bradford City. Oh. But then you had the game which people still talk about, 30 years later. But yeah, that was mental. And you're right.
I was just going to say, being sort of 3-0 up against the likes of Wimbledon and West Brom and losing 4-3.
Yeah.
And, that wouldn't happen any other team. That wouldn't happen to.
No.
In fact, I must pick Rob Banks's brains about this, because he's the classic stat man.
Yeah,
I'd like to see how many sort of those huge scorelines, 4 goals or more, happened during Redknapp's era compared to the other eras. I'm guessing we're heavier in Redknapp's eras for that.
I'd imagine so, definitely. And you're right. There was always a slight imbalance, wasn't there? It's like, as you said, all the pieces were there, but they never sort of all fitted in the puzzle at the right time, was it? He's always a corner piece out, or a centre piece. And it was, it was brilliant when you turn up and it's like, you've got 3 plays never heard of, and then you go, okay, we've got Florian Radicchoi, we got, Futre, we got Ili Dimitrescu. It was mental. And then you had obviously that sort of influx of English talent coming through the academy as well, which we never had 6 turn up at the same time. Almost, it was mental time.
Well, I think you said it the other day when you done the Tony Carr thing. That England team, it was consisted of a third of that. I think that was West Ham graduates. It's like, just to even have 1 or 2 of those these days would be amazing. You know.
No, you're right. And as Harry said in the interview, he said, which has got picked up by several news sources and haven't credited me, but it doesn't matter. That kept them, he would have won the league, and I think he was right. I really think so, because I think it was, as you said, those pieces were starting to come together, and it was just it could have been like the class of '92. That's how I saw it. Because it could have been easily. But anyway, Phil, how did it start with you? Why West Ham? Why is that your team?
Born and bred in East London, mate. You don't have a choice here. My mum's from Custom House originally. My dad's from East Ham. He grew up in Macaulay Road. So if you know the Avenue pub, that's the road that he's on the corner of. So 300 yards from the ground. My mum probably 500 yards the other way of the corner where the bowling was. And like my dad's one of 6, my mum's one of 4. Good old-fashioned sort of East London Catholic families, if you like. And just the whole family's like West Ham nuts. And then for me, sort of growing up, I'm the youngest of 3. My 2 older brothers, there's a little bit of a gap, about 5 or 6 years between me and my next brother. So they would always go with my dad, and then they got to an age where they'd go by themselves, sort of about 14. And you want to emulate your older brothers. You want to be part of that. They come home and it's something special. Even when we, got beaten and it was raining and stuff, they'd still come home and say what a laugh they had and what a good time they had. And like, I'm not really great with memory, if I'm honest. So I'm probably doing the wrong show. But I don't really remember my first game. I know a lot of people you've spoken to will tell you about their first game. I can't remember it. I can remember early games, and I knew that I'd been before. But sort of my early memories was the back of the South Bank. Going in there with my dad. My dad would always go in the middle of the South Bank. He had a few pals over there that he'd go with. And to the left of us, you had the cage. We didn't ever go in there, which is where the more boisterous of the fans used to go. But right at the back of the South Bank, where one of the pipe work came down, there was like a foot deep concrete square, and the pipe work went straight into it. But if I stood on that, I could see across everyone else's head and sort of hold on to the back of the stand and got a perfect view. So a lot of my memories of games, the quarter final against Everton. The Maisie Slater run, I think it was Tony Gale free kick. I can remember seeing that and just seeing that slice of it, if you like, between the heads. Man. So yeah, that's kind of my early memories of West Ham, you know, as a nipper.
Yeah.
I remember, you know, obviously being the youngest of three boys, rather, all of my clothes and especially sort of football kit was all hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
I remember being in hospital once. I had an operation when I was about 7 or 8, and I think I was in there for my birthday, and I got a brand new West Ham shirt for my birthday. That was my first ever West Ham shirt.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in a minute, but to this day, it's still my favourite ever West Ham shirt.
Sure.
I don't know whether it's because it was my first, you know, not hand-me-down, but actual.
I know what you
from
mean.
from the porter cabin outside.
That
the
porter
old,
cabin,
the old porter. I can still smell it, mate.
Yeah, and it was all in glass, wasn't it? Or can I have a look at that sticker? And like,
you take it.
Oh no, how much is it? 50p? No, I'm all right, mate. Sorry. It's like,
well, I remember getting like seeing the sign, like the photos that you used to get with the white bit at the bottom for them to stop.
Yeah.
And to this day, I think the only player I ever got to sign was Phil Parks. But I so wanted Phil Parks because he had the same name as me. Phil's not that common a name, you know. Everyone knows Phil, but it's not that common a name. So, like, you know, a professional sportsman who played for my team who had the same name as me, that was the goal.
Yeah.
And he signed it, and he had these big looping P's, and he put little smiley faces inside the P's. And it's just so exciting to a little kid. And after that, I just did nothing but try and practice my signature. When I become a footballer, this is how I'm going my name. So yeah, it's it's a bit embarrassing, obviously, but you know,
it's funny.
It's great.
It's all memories, isn't it? It's all memories. It's like, as you said, you talk about the game, but it was more about, you know, remembering your brothers coming back saying they had a laugh. And, you know, it's like the same now. It's like, you know, it's not, I mean, obviously the football, as we said before, football, if we were West Ham fans, we wouldn't be football, you know, it's not about football, but it's about the sort of the togetherness. And as you said, you know, you chat to loads of West Ham fans, you know, arguably the only thing you have in common with is that you both support the same team. You know, you never would have, even someone like, they said, you were talking to Chris, and people like, yeah, Chris is, you know, in another country, technically, you know, everyone's all over the place, you know, but it's that sort of common thread, which is really nice because it just, and that's basically how this channel sort of develops, because, you know, people have suggested people. I think Chris actually suggested you, Phil, to come on, and that, you know, that
good bloke,
sort
Chris,
of, he's a lovely guy, lovely. Do you know what? He must give me about 30, 40 names, in sort of several text messages, but yeah, lovely guy.
I mean, just the other thing I was going to touch on was a few of your interviewees have had mention of like joining the club, shall we say, at the right time, that sort of 70s period, you know, when we looked like we was winning things. Obviously, even though I was alive then, I don't really remember the 75 Cup final, but I remember the 80 Cup final, sitting in our front room. My dad had gone to the match, but sitting in our front room with my mum and a few aunties and uncles, and going crazy when the ball accidentally bounced off of Trevor Brookings' head.
Yeah, we did.
Sorry, Sir Trevor.
Sir Trevor.
And then I remember sitting there nervously, because I think it was something silly like the 19th minute or the 15th minute. It was so early on in the game.
They hung on for a long time, didn't they?
Yeah. And then, you know, I sat there and I made a point of going, if I move, I might let Arsenal in on goal. You know, so I'm not going to move because this is the position I was in when we scored. Right, I'm going to adopt that, and I'm not moving. So for the rest of the match, I've done that, and I still do that to this day. If you know, I'm watching a match and I've accidentally been in one particular position when we've scored, I'm like, right, I'm not moving now. It's crazy, just that kid's superstition. But then, you know, the parade afterwards, went to the parade down Green Street.
Wow.
And well, I was down what's that road to East Ham? High Street North, is it? I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, something like
that. And just seeing all the fans out going crazy and singing Bubbles and all the West Ham songs. And the coach went past, you know, the open deck bus or whatever it was. It went past in probably it took about a minute to get past us. And I remember us being there for hours, absolute hours. And then when it went past, everyone joined in again and sort of loosened off and went to done their own thing. And I think about a week later, I had my photo taken with my dad with the FA Cup. They had a photo opportunity. So I was in my mum and dad's house somewhere. The hairstyles are more embarrassing for my dad than me, I think. But yeah, no, it was good, you know. And you kind of, as a kid, that excitement and you know, winning a cup, and you kind of think, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
You know, no one ever kind of wears our colours. You know, I wasn't aware of sort of Scunthorpe and Burnley and Villa at the time. You know, it's like whenever I did get to see West Ham on the big match, you know, with Brian Moore or whatever, it was always against one of the bigger teams anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, just used to love it. So it just gets into your soul, doesn't it?
It does. It gets into the fabric, and it's one of those things where it's like it's through osmosis, isn't it? In terms of it permeates your life, really, without really thinking about it. And obviously, you know, go on.
I've been on meetings in London,
Yeah.
going, right, well, can we do that meeting on a Monday because I know we're playing at home that night or something,
Yeah.
you know? Oh yeah, we can do that Monday. Oh good. I'll make sure I'm in then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Or when you walk, I always used to get it in on the old Metropolitan line for some reason. I had like a zip up top. It's not like an obvious West Ham top. It's got a really small crossed irons emblem on the side, and the amount of people, because obviously you're standing like that, you know, come your irons.
Yeah.
I don't think I've never heard anyone I've never heard Tottenham fans have this sort of like, or Arsenal have this sort of like, you know, we were doing social distancing for many years already. You know, we just do that. You know, come your eyes. Yeah, and that's it. You know, you don't have to greet people anymore. I love it.
It's a special family, isn't it? You know,
it is.
You walk around the sort of supermarket and you see a dad with his kid, and his kid's wearing a West Ham clobber, and you say, you know, come your irons, and he's like, all right, mate, you know, and that's it. But a friend of mine was on holiday. I won't name any names, but he was on holiday I think he was in Mallorca years ago. This was, but he told me about it. And he was walking down the seafront, and there was a real big guy walking along with his two daughters, both decked out fully in West Ham. As he walked past, he went, "That's child abuse, that is, mate." And the bloke went, "Oh yeah, who do you support then?" He went, "West Ham." He was like, "Oh right, oh okay." Yeah. And from then, he said they're lifelong friends. So not once a year, all the families meet up.
It's funny, isn't it? It's so funny. It's so
just
funny.
From that one comment, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah. It is. You're right, and I just don't. I mean, obviously we're a bit sort of biased, but I don't see that happening anywhere else. I mean, even now, you know, I'm obviously I put up the videos and I post them on Facebook and stuff and Twitter. And a lot of my old school friends I haven't spoken to 20 years, they're Tottenham fans, and they're watching it because that is great, because it's like memories and so clearly no one does it anyway. Like, we're the only ones who talk about memories and stuff. But no, I know what you mean. It's a special bond, and it's like I walk down the road with my daughter and I'll be like, come on, your eyes, like across the road to little girl. Do you know them, Daddy? No, don't know them, but
I'm the same. It's funny.
It's brilliant. I love it. Anyway, you spoke about your team, Phil, very, very quickly. Obviously, the whole idea is it's called My Hammers 11. So we do like to go through your 11 players. Now, I believe you spent quite a bit of time on this. So
yeah, I did. I've got some paperwork just to keep me on track. I wanted to come up with a theme. It's very easy. Well, it's bloody hard to do it with your favourite players as well, and only keep it to 11. I think I quipped somewhere else that I'd got it down to a West Ham 55.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought if I stuck to a theme, then I got to be ruthless. So some of the themes I kind of rejected was Hammer of the Year only, or the signed past their best 11 kind of thing, which we seem to be quite good at.
That'd be quite good on, yeah.
The injury plagued 11. You know, Simon Webster's a shoe-in for that one. He didn't even get to play for us,
Bless him.
Thanks to Julian.
Yeah.
There was a good one for players you forgot we ever had as well, which was quite interesting. And I think you'd scrabble to sort of remember or even, you know, spell some of their names, some of them, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But I rejected all of that because I thought if I keep it personal, then it's going to mean something to me. This is like a time vault. What you're doing, you're encapsulating
exactly
someone's West Ham. So I thought I'd base it on shirts that reminded me of players.
Yeah, love it. Yeah.
So we look at a West Ham shirt from time's gone by, you go, oh, that reminds me of so
Yeah.
and so.
Yeah,
So
no, I get that. Yeah.
I'm always doing that. I'll see someone wearing a shirt at a game or something, one of the older shirts, and I'll go, oh yeah, that reminds me of So I just thought that was the easiest way to do
Yeah,
it.
no, I like that. That's a good idea, Phil. Yeah, I'm the same. There are certain players who are synonymous with certain shirts, so it'll probably come up, I reckon, with yours. All right, who's going to go in goal then? And what we're going to try and do, I'm preempting this, is Phil's done a PowerPoint as well, so I'm going to try and use his things in the thing down here. So
PowerPoint makes it sound so professional. I've clipped out the football shirts.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to put those.
We'll
on the
sort it
screen.
out, and if not, I look like an idiot now because I've said it on camera. So yeah.
Well, if not, people just have to go and look them up, won't they?
We'll figure it out. Don't worry, Phil. Right, who's in goal then? Who's in goal for this shirt 11?
Well, I've mentioned him already, Phil Parks.
Yeah.
Without for many reasons, and there's a bit of artistic license in here because I'm using him for a shirt that I've kind of used that which wasn't sort of in his golden era, if you like.
Yeah.
So I've used him in the 89 to 90 shirt. Obviously that'll be the goalkeeping variant, but I didn't really have anyone else for that shirt anyway, and B, I think that was his last season at the club. I'm happy to be corrected on that, but I think that's right.
Someone will, don't worry, Phil. So
I'm sure they will, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Parksy still is. He's a man mountain. He's a massive guy. Great personality. So down to earth. I've met him. Been lucky enough to meet him a couple of times. Like I say, as a nipper, he signed that thing, and then a few years ago, I went along to a Stop Hammer Time evening with Phil Parks. Got to spend some time with him and his wonderful wife and his fantastic daughter. And they're just like a really down to earth family. You know, there's no airs and graces. I spoke to Phil about that signature, and he said, "Oh yeah, I used to do that all the time." That's obviously not how I signed my bank checks, but the kids sort of loved it, which was wonderful for me. Because it meant he's put a bit of effort in for the fans.
Yeah.
And obviously that night we got to hear a little bit more about the story, how he signed. John Lyall sort of coming to his house in his Jag, and sitting having a cup of tea with him and stuff. And just a typical John Lyall story from what I've heard from a number of players. Absolute gentlemen and treated individuals with respect. But what was good for me that night is getting to meet. I spent probably about 20 minutes, half an hour, just speaking with his wife and daughter, and hearing. I really wanted to find out the story from their side of the fence, and what it was like, to have Dad sign from QPR to West Ham for this astounding world.
Yeah, exactly.
Bigger at the time, and he had other options as well, by all accounts.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great to sort of get to know them and see their side of the story and some of their sort of little, tableaus of how they saw things happening. And, just getting back to him on the pitch, he was obviously the first goalkeeper that I saw for us. But even now, I know there's a lot of talk about sort of modern keepers and rushing out and all the rest of it. But his distribution of a ball, it going from that alone, he'd going straight into many Premiership teams now. He could throw a ball further than I could kick it.
Yeah.
And he'd pick people out, directly to their feet. It'd be looking for the runners and just ping it straight out, just, get straight on the break again. He knew when to slow it down. And, for a big man, as they say, he was quick. He was really, really agile. I mean, you've got to have, as I say, I've got some honourable mentions here as well. So Rob Green would be an honourable mention. He, again, fantastic player. Left us probably not under the best of circumstances and probably a little bit too early, if I'm honest too. But in my mind, if there's a statue built, on a plinth, you got to put Parksy up there.
Yeah.
Just absolute astounding keeper.
Yeah.
And kept, you can't say any more than sort of that 86 season as well. You look at, I mean, obviously the defence done their job, but there were times where I think Ferguson said it about Schmeichel. You can judge a really good keeper if they get you between 6 and 9 points a season. Just on them alone. And Parksy definitely done that.
Yeah.
You know, looking definitely. So
No, definitely.
yeah, Phil Parks got to be
Yeah, Phil
Parksy.
Parks, good shout. Yep. Can't iterate any more what you just said. Totally agree. Right, we'll put Parks in. Let's go left back then. Who's going to be left back for them, Phil?
Well, this is going to come as a shock because
Okay.
I'm not sure a lot of people have mentioned him, but from the 95-97 shirt season, it's going to be Julian Dix.
Oh, I've heard of him. Yeah,
Yeah.
Julian Dix.
Yeah. I think he's probably in every team.
Two-thirds of the team so far. But that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? You know, it's a generation thing.
But I think the reason he's in so many is because he went away and came back again. So he got a whole other raft of supporters as well.
Yeah.
But what a player. You know, wand of a left foot. Engine like no tomorrow. He'd run all day, even with a gammy leg, you know. The fact that he took sort of cortisone injections, 45 minutes before playing a game and then run out and go and play 90 minutes as well. I know plenty of people that would take time off work for that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and
definitely. Gotcha.
he needed to play,
He did.
And as aggressive and rough around the edges as he might come across, what an absolute player. My memories of him charging down that left-hand side, looking up, picking a 60-yard crossfield ball out to the other wing, or smashing it against Man City into the back of the net from probably I don't know, memory's poor. We'll give him 40 yards, shall we? I don't know. It felt like it anyway.
Yeah.
Just an immense player. He would pick games up by the scruff of their neck.
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid to turn around and give his fellow professionals a rollicking on the pitch, even when he didn't have the armband on. And one story that sticks out for me, and I was lucky enough to meet him again on another Stop Hammer Time evening, and spent some time chatting with him at the bar. As long as I bought him a drink, he was happy to talk, funnily enough. And I'm always happy to buy people a drink, especially legends like that. But I reminded him of a game where we was playing Man United under the lights. I think it might have been that evening, where he had the penalty and the Florin goal and stuff. 2-2 draw, I believe it was. But he was running backwards to our own corner flag with the ball, chasing the ball down. He had Cantona right up his backside, and he flicked the ball up, kneed it up, flicked it over his head, ran around Cantona and ran off with the ball, and then pinged a classic Julian 40-yard ball away.
Yeah.
And as he sort of slowly jogged back to his position, Cantona sort of shook his head and went like that to him. Unbelievable. And it was just another day for Julian.
Yeah, still all the time.
At the time, Cantona is like this football god. He's all over them.
Yeah.
It was before sort of the infamous kung fu kick, I think. But it was that moment of magic that all West Ham fans love. Got a massive round of applause, and to Julian, like, I had to remind him of it, and he was like, "Oh, I don't really remember that. Yeah, was that the 2-2 game? Yeah, I probably did. Yeah." And yeah, what an absolute player, absolute
guy. Yeah, and just so relatable as a man. He's like, footballers now aren't relatable, I don't think, but he is. You could see, as you said, you could see him propping up a bar, walking to a pub, and you'll be, you wouldn't necessarily see that with Lanzini or Haller, for example. That's just not what they are. And they're different people. But I think that's why I think there's, it seems now footballers, there's almost this sort of detraction between the fans and the players. Yeah. It's almost they're up there now, whereas around that year, that sort of 90, and obviously before that, it was very much, they were our idols, but you could easily see them walking down the road in the high street.
Very often you'd bump into them, side or something, and you'd be, oh, yeah, can I ever, you didn't have sort of your smartphones and stuff at the time. Can I have an autograph, or can I shake your hand and just say, and people, oh yeah, no problem, it's
no
fine.
worries at all, yeah.
These days, I think, they send someone out from their Mercedes to go and get something for them.
Exactly. But it is, that's what, they got the money to do it, so that's what they're doing it. So fair enough. Good luck to them. Right, okay, we'll put Julian in. Who's going to go right back then, Phil?
Right back is the 87-89 shirt. It is Mr. George Paris.
Georgie Paris.
And it is, I'm still to this day, I can't think of his name without saying he takes no shit.
Yeah.
That was the terrorist chant. Georgie takes no shit, and he didn't. And there is a bit of artistic license there because I think he predominantly played left back as well. But I loved him as a player, and I had to put him. And he is synonymous with that shirt. You'll hopefully got it on the screen, but the blue stripes down the side. I can't look at that shirt and see anyone but Georgie P in it.
Yeah.
I mean, another one of those classically moulded players from somewhere else who just fit the West Ham mould, you know, worked his socks off, never say died, had a great touch on him, good vision, knew when to play the ball, knew when to hold onto the ball, didn't mind crunching into people as well. And, you know, in today's age where we're all a little bit more woke, I believe the term is, you know, didn't put up with anything from the stands either, didn't affect him at all. No. I was, you know, it's part of this sort of journey for me to look up some of the players and do a bit of background. I sort of remember this. I don't think I was at the game, but I sort of remember this as when I was a bit younger, and I saw it confirmed. And I think it was an evening game at West Ham. I can't remember who the opposition was, where he was being slaughtered. You know, based obviously on his colour.
Yeah.
By the opposition fans, and you know, back at the time, it was the done thing when you know, as a fan base, to do things like that people would throw bananas on the pitch, right? Obviously, that's even back then, that's pretty abhorrent, to be fair. But nowadays, you know, you can imagine that just would be totally untolerated. But as West Ham fans, we're from the East End of London. We are a big melting pot, to coin the phrase.
Very much so.
We've seen the influx of so many different colours, creeds, backgrounds, and I mean, growing up from the East End, my mates were, you know, Bangladeshi, Pakistani, Indian, Irish, black, Scottish. You didn't see colour, you didn't see religion.
No, I get that.
If they, you know, excuse my French, if they were arseholes, they were arseholes, right? But that's got nothing to do with what section of society they come from, you know.
Sure.
You take people on face value, and this guy, Georgie P, was a classic out and out West Ham player. Yeah. You know, you could still you stick him in the team today, he would be phenomenal at right back. That marauding right back that we seem to be somewhat missing at the moment. We seem to have players that think they're wingers that don't really want to defend.
Yeah.
Or try to, but aren't as good. But George was just like a brick wall at times. He'd stand over the ball and no one would get through him. And getting back to that story about sort of the bananas on the pitch, apparently he picked one up, peeled it, ate it, and went, "Thanks very much," to the crowd, which just incensed them.
But then
the West Ham fans all gave him, round of applause and sang his name. And that is, you know, I've always been proud of that fact as West Ham fans. We've never been like that. We've never been that sort of supporter base. You know, from the fact that, you know, with the John Charleses of the world and I can't remember who played up front.
Clive Best. Yeah,
Best. Right through to, you know, the homegrown talent, Bobby Barnes and players like that when I was growing up. We didn't see that. Are they a good footballer? Do they do what they're supposed to do in that position? Great. Hero status. And that's what it is. And for me, he is one of my heroes. Just as a kid growing up, I can't recall a time where I think he ever got tackled, if I'm honest. And I've got those rose-tinted specs on, or claret specs on, I should say. But, you know, absolute wall of a player. And he'd spread the ball as well. You know, he didn't just sort of dive in and stay there. He'd run up the pitch and look for a pass as well. So, fantastic.
All right, I put Georgie P in. Great shout. Okie dokie. Let's go centre-backs then. Phil, who's your first centre-half?
Again, little bit of pushing the boundaries here. But the 80-83 shirt, which is the one I mentioned earlier about getting in hospital, that is my favourite all-time shirt. Yeah. It's the Adidas one that's like silk kind of looking. It's absolutely beautiful. And you can't put any other player in that than Billy Bonds.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and I realise again, that's not necessarily the end of Billy's career, you know, but he did drop back to centre back now and again, as well as playing midfield and right back, and probably everywhere else on the pitch. He would have played everywhere else on the pitch if he'd have had his way, I think. But again, you know, if you wanted a mould for a West Ham player, you know, just churn out more Billy Bonzes.
Yeah,
you know,
good point.
The fact that I think Noble's played for the club for 11, 12 years now. He's coming up for a huge number of appearances.
Yeah.
He still, you know, what is he? Noble's 32 now, something like
that.
He's still being compared like a boy to Billy Bonds.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
Bill's, you know, the fittest. You know, you hear all the stories of training at the beginning of the season. Even when he was manager, he'd still be the first one back. You know, they'd do the run over Hainault Forest and back again. He was still the fittest out of all the players at 41, 42 years of age, you know.
Yeah,
you know, the term swashbuckling was invented for him.
Yeah.
You know, he looks like he should have had, you know, a cutlass in his hand and a patch on his eye. You know, and again, he'd play anywhere in the pitch. He'd pick the ball up. He'd do the sensible thing. But you see some of the tackles he pulled off, and it wasn't like he was an aggressive animal. You know, he was really cultured. You watch it. My mate's dad, Dougie, God rest his soul. He used to do this thing when we'd go over to West Ham, and a particular player would say, right, I'm going to do a whoever watch now, 10-minute watch of one particular player. Just see him, his movement, even when he ain't got the ball, what's he doing? Where's he looking to run? What's he looking to do?
Yeah.
And I remember doing that with Billy. One of my earliest memories of kind of watching a player and noticing doing something like that. And then for the rest of the time, I watched him for about 5-10 minutes, even when he didn't have the ball. And was just like absolutely astounded. What, you know, look at, he's tracking everywhere. And I grew up, a lot of people make this big thing about Roy Keane and Vieira. Oh, look, box-to-box midfielder. But every midfielder does that. Every midfielder should be able to tackle, run to the other box and either lay it off or make a shot. Right? That's what midfielders do. Well, why do I think like that? Because I grew up watching Billy Bonds. You know, they weren't, you know, I suppose in the more modern game, they were special because people got told you can't go any further than that. Or once
you got to stop there. Yeah.
But Bill was Bill. He was going to do what he was going to do. And what he did 90% of the time was the right thing to do. And, you know, name as many stands as you like after him, but he is archetypally Mr. West Ham. You know, whoever comes and goes, Bill he's the benchmark. You know?
The benchmark. Yeah, it's good way of describing the benchmark, exactly. Yeah, totally agree. Bill's in. Who's going to partner Bill in the centre half positions? Then, Phil?
Well, this is a shocking one, but from the 98 and 99 season, it's got to be Rio.
Yeah.
Now, a little known fact about Rio is that he's, and I'm reading this because I had to remember it, but his middle name is the equally exotic Gavin.
Yes.
I bet you know that. But yeah, he played, what a lot of people don't realise is obviously the big money move to Leeds, you know, world record at the time, 18 mil, I think it was. By the time he left Leeds for Man United, and obviously doubled that figure again, he'd actually played more than twice the amount of games for West Ham than he ever did for Leeds. You know, I think he played about 120 odd times for West Ham and only about 50 odd times for Leeds. We established him as an England player, you know, and he was that continuation of the academy that we'd seen previously with, you know, with the likes of like Frank and Joe. You know, albeit sort of coming through sort of at the same time.
Yeah.
But the genius of Rio was that he was a midfielder that dropped into the back. So when he was on the ball, he wasn't looking to lump it. He wasn't looking to clear his lines. It'd be, right, where are we going with this? You know? And equal kudos to Harry for you know, having the confidence and the guts to sort of play in that first team, you know. He had some big shoes to step into, you know, played alongside, I think, Reaper and Bilic and stuff. But what an absolute sublime player. I mean,
he was.
What's the phrase? Rolls Royce of a player, isn't it?
Rolls Royce,
No, yeah, I mean, nothing ever looked. He's always got his head up, always looking around. Um, you know, I think it's been mentioned before. If we'd have kept sort of that cadre of players together, we could have definitely won things. You know, whether it be a cup, whether it be a challenge on the league title. I think life would have been a lot different. You know, it's that sliding doors moment.
It is. It is.
I think as West Ham fans, we've had probably far too many over the
So
years.
it's very used to that. Yeah, to be honest, we're very
Well,
used to that.
watching George Mann's video that you done with him last night, and he refers to a few of those as well. It's like, if only we'd done this instead of that, what would we have been? You know.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, London boy as well.
Yeah.
You know, he knows what sort of grassroots is like. He knows what the value of a pound is as well. And even now, following him as an ex-professional, obviously he's had some fantastic news lately. I think he's expecting another child after a real hard time with, you know, he's becoming a widow and stuff. But you know, he just carries himself as
You're
just
right. He
such
does.
a great guy. And again, that shirt, I just look at that shirt and I've got to put Rio in there. You know,
Yeah. No, I get. Yeah, totally. No, I get it.
Right in. So
get it totally right. We'll put Rio in. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Let's go into midfield then, Phil. Let's go left midfield. Who do you have left midfield?
Okay, 83, 85. Look at that shirt. Who else is it going to be? It's got to be Alan Devonshire.
Yeah, it's going to be Dev.
My idol growing up, when I used to kick a ball about, I was always Devonshire in my head. And, you know, you'd shout, "Oh, Devonshire's through," you know, and stuff. It was always Alan Devonshire. You know? I probably saw him a bit later on in his career after he sort of come back from that injury, that bad injury. But he just adapted his game. You know, he wasn't the whippet anymore. He decided to float around people instead.
Yeah, changed it.
And I think Frankie Mack and TC said it. You know, he'd say to him, "Right, give me the ball. I'll draw the three players. Then I'll knock it around the corner, and we'll go." And they were like, "We're talking about, you know, you big-headed git, you know, you got the moustache, but
yeah."
You know, he would absolutely do that. And he was one of those first players where, for me, and this is important for me, as you'll see as I go through my midfield, actually, he would get bums off seats. People, and obviously we didn't have seats. Well, we did, depending on where you sat.
I know you mean, yeah.
But when Devonshire got the ball, everyone was, right, here we go.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen. You know, and you were kind of disappointed when he got it and just flicked it off for a little short pass. I'll give it back to him. Let him go again. Just an absolute magician with the ball. For me, especially sort of that mid-80s period or early 80s period watching football, and there was that Pomo kind of approach where you were knocking it long, smashing into players, you know, trying to win as many headers as possible. That's when West Ham were kind of synonymous with keeping the ball on the floor. A lot of teams didn't do that, and I think that's where, you know, we got a lot of people's second teams were West Ham at the time because of that. We tried to play the ball, and that was obviously Lyle's influence under sort of his predecessor, sort of Greenwood. But you know, for me, John just said to the team, "Go out there and just play football." You know, so you're not going to be able to compete with them every single time, smashing them off the ball. You know, they train for that week in, week out. What they're not expecting is people running in behind them, diagonal balls to feet.
Good point. Yeah.
Devonshire was the first player I can remember to run at players with the ball, and you see them go, "What do we do here?" You know, but absolute fantastic player. And you know, I live quite close to one of the teams he used to manage now, Braintree as well, and I know a lot of Braintree Town supporters, and they speak equally as highly of him as well. You know, some of them are West Ham fans of old, and they're like, "He's always got time to talk to you."
Yeah.
What a lovely guy, you know.
Yeah, definitely. We'll put Dev in. Good shout. Right, let's go the other side. Let's go right midfield then. Phil, who's right midfield for you?
So getting back to that halcyon era with Redknapp, 97-98 shirt.
Yeah.
It's got to be Ricky Trevor Sinclair.
Ricky Trevor, yeah.
I mean, it was a bit of a coup when we signed him.
It was, yeah.
he was at QPR and lots of other sort of, dare I say it, bigger teams. I think as a West Ham fan, we understand what that means. We're looking at him, but no one wanted to dip their toes. And I think he was a little bit reluctant because he was a bit of a big fish in a smaller pond.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And I think he, not based on any evidence, but I kind of think he liked that. And he, QPR, they had a good bunch there that stayed around a long time, and he was part of that, with Rufus Brevitt and the rest. So he had a lot of mates there. So for us to actually get him, I remember when we signed him, I was really, really excited. He's another of those attacking-minded midfielders. He thinks to go forward, and you'll remember the famous FA Cup QPR bicycle kick goal from far out. And when people said, "Oh, he's signed for West Ham," that's immediately flashed in my head. I was like, "A player are we going to get here?" And within a few games, you just absolutely saw this is fantastic. He'd get the ball, he'd get his head down, he'd run at players, and players would back off, not know what to do. Oh, we'll force him wide. I remember him running into the corner, 2 men around him. He'd done the 180 spin, run out in between them with the ball. And I know it's little nuggets like that. That's my personal history. You probably won't find any YouTube.
No, exactly. Yeah.
But or flicking the ball up and over people's heads. He could smack a ball as well. He knew where the goal was. He scored some spectacular goals for us. I think the Charlton one, in particular, when we beat Charlton, I think it was 5-0 with a volley. Absolute amazing player. And he only has to be in there for no other reason than the ball for that Di Canio goal.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just even if Di Canio had spooned it, look at that ball.
Yeah,
that
incredible.
is 40-yard crossfield ball to Di Canio's
enough height on it. Yeah, it's for him to get in.
Yeah, fantastic. And
he's a great player.
Just for me, a West Ham midfield has to be exciting, like that bums off seat. That what's this guy going to do? We like to see them embarrassing the opposition with a few tricks. We like to see him scoring goals and getting forward. And he's got a massively big personality as well. You've seen him on Match of the Day and being interviewed and stuff. And he's still a large as life character. He still knows that he was incredibly lucky. And I think if he'd been around today, he'd be. You couldn't buy him.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
He's in that sort of Sterling mould. He'd be perfect.
Yes, good shout.
Man City is his team as well, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
He'd be perfect in the Man City team right now.
Yeah, good shout.
Just a phenomenal player that made you really excited to go. You wanted to go and watch a West Ham game with players like that.
You're totally right. And it was that period where you were just excited about going to see football, which was a rarity for a West Ham fan.
What you mean there is it was a joy to go and watch a game.
Yeah.
When we turn up. So, yeah.
I know what you mean. Right, I'll put Tricky Trev in. Let's go centre mids then. Phil, who's your first centre mid?
It's got to be from the 01-03 season shirt, Joe Cole.
Joey Cole.
It's a bit embarrassing. Obviously, I'm older than it, but I'm a massive fanboy of Joe Cole.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's weird, but I was there when he signed his forms. Other people will tell you this. I was at the game where he was brought out and signed his forms on a little table, and Jeremy Nicholas on the announcer saying, you can tell your kids you were here when Joe Cole signed West Ham. I was there when he scored his first goal. I was there for the friendly when he scored his last goal for us, before obviously going to Chelsea. But he's just an incredible talent. You don't see players like that in the modern day.
You don't.
Not unless you're brought up on Spanish football, maybe. I don't know, or Brazilian football, but he should never in the classic English mould of the league system and the coaching system. He should never have made it through. He was an oddity. What he could do with a ball, but because he could never be pushed off a ball, he wasn't a great big giant. He wasn't
not at all.
But you could never get him off the ball, whether it was with a trick. But also he was quite a sturdy little sod.
Yeah.
Even coming through as a 16-year-old when he played you very rarely saw him get bounced at the ball.
No, you're
Most
right. Yeah, you're totally right.
I remember away at Wimbledon. And at Wimbledon, when you was away, you sat along the side, the longest stand, you know.
Yep.
Maybe it's because we took so many. I don't know. But I remember he was running towards us with the ball. And I can't remember I think it was Ben Thatcher came sliding in to wipe him out. And he literally done that 180 where you step on top of the ball and dragged it. Thatcher just went, and he turned around and ran off the other way.
Yeah.
And he got the biggest cheer. Everyone went nuts. And that is like, that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see from. And he loved Harry. He loved the club. I know growing up he was a Chelsea fan, but he really got West Ham. You know, I think it got into his fibre, as we said earlier. He loved the opportunity. I think he loved the encouragement from Tony Khan, from Redknapp, just to go out and express yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got, and this for me, I know this is going to get maybe a little bit of criticism or controversy, but he went to Chelsea and Mourinho coached that out of him. Mourinho turned him into a better footballer, but he didn't turn him into a better artisan. You know,
I totally agree.
On off, you know, you can mention sort of the likes of Gaza further back, but for me, what Joe couldn't do with a ball, you couldn't write it on a graph price, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm gushing because I am such a fanboy. When he came back, I know it wouldn't be the same, but it's like meeting an old girlfriend and you're like, oh, you're still gorgeous, love. I still want you.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I was so happy when he re-signed for us and scoring that first goal and just. You knew he could feel it. He could feel it inside, and it was just. I know he played more regularly with with England when Mourinho sort of got him to be more disciplined. I think he called it.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't think that's how Joe wanted to play.
No, not at all.
I think he was convinced that that's what growing up meant. You know, as a player, you've got responsibilities, but. I remember the last season where he was with us, you know, before we went down. He captained us against.
Yeah, he did.
He captained us, and specifically against Arsenal. And Vieira was his opposition that day. And I remember him flying into tackles. He even outmuscled him for an header in the middle of the park. You know, he absolutely got it. It wasn't all fancy tricks and flares and flicks and stuff. He knew how to play the game. So it kind of, you know, I realise players have to move on. You know, that's as much as the West Ham way as anything else, unfortunately. But I just wish Mourinho hadn't done that to him.
I know what you mean. Totally.
Be that number 10. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
He didn't he didn't have the hardest shot on him. A lot of his goals were sort of what I would call, you know, daisy cutters. But again, like Devonshire, he'd drag 2 or 3 players with him. And then leave them standing; they'd be gone, you know. So yeah, I'm a massive romantic for Joe Cole. I'm sorry, and he just, you know, he handily fits into that shirt as well. So.
Oh, definitely. Well, I'll put Joe in. Who's Joe going to partner in that midfield then, Phil?
This was tough. The whole midfield was tough. Actually, I have made a note by saying, I've got it here, that I think. Actually, it's this bit of paper. The midfield was the hardest to finalise. Now, Chris told me a little device to use. That is your honourable mention role. So I can mention other players.
Yeah.
So, you know, on the left you'd have either Matty Holmes, Stuart Slater, or Yossi Benayoun.
Yeah.
On the right, Sir Trevor, obviously, Kevin Keane, Berkovic. In the middle, you know, Martin Allen and Nolan. Nolan was probably one of the best captains since Bond. In fact, flat out, I don't care. I know he gets a lot of stick, and I do not know why from West Ham fans. Absolute fantastic captain.
He was,
scored goals as well, and genuinely loved his time at the club. And I'm grateful that he is back at the club now.
Me too.
You know, so he needs a mention.
Okay.
Bishop as well. again, one of those players that just put his foot on the ball, look up, spray it 40 yards, and such a playmaker. I've got to mention Michael Carrick as well.
Yeah.
And the biggest compliment I can pay to Carrick is when he went to Spurs. Spurs supporting, I won't say friend, I'll say colleague, said to me, I don't know why we signed him. Don't know, what's he bring to a team? I can't work out what he brings to us. And I said to him there and then, you wait. You'll play about 10, 15 games with him. Then he'll be out either suspension or an injury for a couple of players. And you'll go, we're missing something. The tick's not ticking. You know, something's not right. And give me his due, later on that season, he come back to me. He said, I remember you saying that to me. He said, you're bang on. Like, he's out at the moment. And we can't put our finger on why we are not clicking. And it's Carrick. He would receive the ball. How many other players got the ball and was automatically in 5 yards of space?
No, exactly. He made his own space, yeah.
I watch games now. I still can't work out how, when he gets the ball, there's no one around him. Every single time. He's just such a, you know, I remember him coming through as a 17-year-old. It's like, if he knows that at 17, what's he going to be like at 27 or 30 years old?
Good point.
Well, we know now because we've seen him at Man United. And again, my missus is Irish, so naturally all of her family are Man United supporters. Well, they're either that or Liverpool, right? But they're all Man United fans, and they said to me, what's he like? I don't really rate him, you know. Don't see what he does. I said the same thing again. You watch.
Yeah.
And give them their due. They were like, brilliant. What a player. Where's he get all that time from? I don't know. I still don't know. I reckon he's got some kind of like time displacement device.
Yeah, like George's magic watch, you know. Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, he's just a fantastic player. But he's not in it.
So who he is? That's the question.
But the ultimate modern bums off seat player from the 15-16.
Yeah.
Dimitri Payet.
Yeah.
It's got to be Payet. Yeah. No one else in more modern times has given me that level of excitement watching a West Ham game. Yeah, he wasn't that very fast. If you watch him, he wasn't
not at all. Not at all.
But he would not. He'd get himself in and out of trouble. A flick round a player, drag back here or there. And you know, other than the Di Canio taxi for Bartes moment at Old Trafford, you know, I was there for that. But I was there for that free kick against De Gea as well. And you know, even we were right behind the goal, and we could see how far out he was. He's too far out. He's not going to have a go there. I think he's going to dink it over the wall. Someone's going to run off the wall behind it. You watch.
Yeah.
You know,
top.
Yeah. Like the fact that he bounced off the inside of the post, and you know, any further over, and the keeper would have got to him. And you know, again, Chris Scholes said the other day on his interview, the only player from our colours ever to be nominated for a Ballon d'Or.
Exactly.
During that thing. And when he said it, I remembered that.
Yeah.
Obviously, 17 out of 20 or something. You know? But it's neither here nor there. It's like, how many other players?
Yeah, no, exactly. Totally. Yeah, totally with Payet. Yeah, never.
You know, we got him under the same conditions he left, shall we say.
Yeah.
We knew what we were getting. You know, we can't be surprised at the way things went down when he left. But for the purposes of this team, I prefer not to.
No, we don't worry about that. We don't worry about
that. The performances he gave, the fact that when we got a free kick, we thought we might have a chance of scoring.
Yeah, when did that ever happen before? You know what I mean?
That's not a very regular occurrence for West Ham.
Not at all. No, he was brilliant. I loved him.
And just, I mean, it's that bums off seats. You know, it's. What was it? Ruud Gullit said, you know, sexy player, sexy football, whatever. But, you know, you don't get any sexier than that.
No, you don't. He was amazing. He was an amazing player.
Again, you know, whether we're that shop window, I don't know. But, you know, he was on the fringes of the French team before that. And then we had the Euros at the end of that season. Started. And first game he played for him, scores a worldie.
Yeah,
you know,
of course, and he was our player, wasn't he, as well?
One of the players of the tournament, and you know, like you say, he's our player. He's our player. Then you talk to the supporters of other teams, and they're like, "Yeah, you've got a player there."
Yeah, exactly. They were jealous. They were
the
jealous.
big job was, who's going to sell him to in the summer? Who's he going to go to in the summer?
Yeah,
That was a big...
I mean, that was always the thing. But he was jealous. Yeah, people were jealous of him, which was nice.
But yeah,
box office.
I genuinely, yeah, box office. That's a brilliant phrase. I genuinely feel honoured as a West Ham fan to have been able to see him in my colours.
No, I agree.
You know, it's almost like they'll never take that away from me. You know, whether people want to put up as many snake emojis as they like, I don't care.
Yeah.
When he was here, when he was playing for us, I know, you know, very, very motivated by the Greenbacks sort of thing, but what a player! What a player!
Yeah. No, he was a great player. All right, we'll put Dimmy in. Dimmy's in. Let's go up front then, Phil. Who's your first striker?
Well, I mentioned him already. It's got to be that 99 to 2000 season, Paolo Di Canio.
Yeah.
There is no one else like Paolo.
No, there isn't. No.
Frustrating, flamboyant.
Yeah.
Amazing, charismatic. Crazy. Yeah, every superlative you can think of.
Yeah.
Would, you know, and some of them in contrast to one another, big fat ticks with him. You know, it's just some of the moments you get from his boots just left you breathless. You know,
breathless. Good shout. Yeah,
I'm not gonna dwell on that goal because everyone knows that goal against Wimbledon. The fact that when the replay comes on and they show it, there's me and my brother doing this in the background. You know, I love that bit too. But just, I mean, how did we get him? You know, it's only the fact it was again another classic West Ham.
Yeah,
player screws up, gets banned for 12 games or 12 weeks or whatever it was, and Redknapp's like, yeah, I've got. Come on, Terry, give us 1.5. We'll get him in. He'll do good for us. But I always remember going away to Sheffield Wednesday, him and Carboni up top, and when when he got the ball, you were like, what's he going to do with it? If he doesn't know what he's doing with it, we ain't got a clue. And people backpedaling. I remember Breaker tripping up on himself and things, and you think, what are we going to do? You know, and then to get him, and then just watch him play. It's another sort of pie. You've got to put up with that craziness to get that beauty.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes getting the ball off of him was frustrating. You'd be square. Look, they're open.
But that wasn't Paolo.
No, Paolo had to pull it back 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times. Don't worry about the runner. Canute can go back and run again. You know, don't worry about that. But he just, mate, he was mesmerising.
Yeah,
absolutely mesmerising. And he was ours. He got it. You know, you talk to him now. He's got a West Ham tattoo, for crying out loud.
Exactly.
You know, he comes back with, and you hear stories about people on holiday and bumping into him, or when they've met him in London. I believe he's still got a place in Dockland. And he'll talk, you know, wants to talk about West Ham. Does nothing but want to talk about West Ham. And like, let's not forget, he's played for some big teams, you know, some big Italian teams, Celtic, you know, but his heart's West Ham because he got it.
And they got him. It was a mutual thing, wasn't it? Both got each other.
You know, the Donne Mobili. I don't know, my Italian is not very good, but I can still hear that ringing through my ears. That goal, like I say, for me, yes, that goal against Wimbledon, but the goal against Bartes away at Man United in a cup, and that heroic hanging on, another sort of digging, you know.
Yeah.
But for any other player, keepers out, everyone else has stopped running.
Yeah.
There would have been roll the ball back.
Not Paolo.
And the outside of his right, around the wrong side of Bartes as well. Who else is going to do that?
It's only Paolo, in it, and that's Paolo Di Canio, in it. He was unpredictable, but we loved him, didn't we? And he loved us, and he was a great player.
But again, it's that connection with the fans.
Yeah, totally.
It's that hero worship, you know. When we take a player into our heart, you've got to really, really screw up to lose our love, you know.
Yeah.
And the fact that a lot of the teams that you're seeing from your interview still include him, the reverence spoken about him and the way he played and his passion for the game. And, he wore his art on his shirt, the 5-4 arm coming off, sub me Harry, and grabbing the ball. But, he's like that schoolboy that we all were playing the game. He's got that passion. He just wants to kick every ball, score every goal, take every free kick, take every corner. He wanted to do everything, and thankfully he was able to do most of it anyway.
He was, yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
What a player! Absolutely,
he was.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And who's this? And who's the last piece of this Pitt pie puzzle?
Before I get to that, I've got to do
honourable mentions.
Sorry, mate. And that is there's some surprise ones in. There's Hartson, obviously. Defoe. Don't spit your drink out of that. Again, didn't leave in the best of circumstances, but just a natural goal scorer. Could hit the goal from anywhere. And for I'm as many of your watchers will know, I'm not the tallest of blokes, and he was a small footballer as well. He should never have made ranks, but he's sheer talent that got him to where he was. Again, not happy with the way he left and all the rest of it, but when he played for us, top scorer for a season, in all competitions, and just a fantastic, electrifying little.
He was a really good striker for us. Yeah.
Another one, Bellamy.
Yeah.
Great, again a good out and out scorer. Something that at the time West Ham probably hadn't had for a wee while.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Dare I say it? And just as soon as he got the ball, he was going towards goal. There was no laying it off and doing a cheeky run. He got the ball, I'm off. See you later.
Yeah.
There's your goal, and he'd run round, And Sheringham, I know he wasn't there very long, but that season for us coming back up, he was instrumental.
Yeah.
And the footballing, I know people talk about footballing brains, but the footballing brain on him, immense. He wasn't your striker that would be running late into the box. He'd be sitting back going, I'll either pull this one myself or I'll play it in behind him. You could see the pedigree. You could see where he came from.
Yeah.
And I think we were lucky to have him.
We were.
If I'm honest.
Definitely.
I don't think we would have come up that season without Sheringham pulling the strings up top there. So
definitely.
Again, honourable mentions. But the spot has to go to the 85-87 shirt of Tony Cottee.
TC.
And again, you see that shirt, you can't see anyone.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Got to be TC. And again, like I say, I'm a short Harris. He's not the biggest of guys.
Yeah.
So for me, again, kicking the ball about at that sort of age, he was, my little idol, because I just, I associate myself with him. I'm small. I tend to play up front, and I just wanted to learn everything from him. But yeah, and out, just a goal scorer, and it was that first time I'd ever seen just that natural goal scorer.
Yeah.
In West Ham colours,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Just players that would be bearing down on goal as soon as they got the ball. That was their one thought. It was not about linking play. I think Frank McAvenny takes a mickey out of him, telling him, he had to educate him over a season to maybe do wider runs rather than just stand up front.
Yeah.
But they didn't do too badly out of it.
They did all right, didn't they, as a pairing? They did all right.
So yeah, it was tough not to put Frank in there as well, if I'm honest. But TC was the one that I sort of associated with. He was the if Frank and TC were sort of Oasis and Blur, he was the Blur, Blur Oasis.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was
great player.
It was a fantastic player, and just again one of those players that just gives me a lot of West Ham memories. And that's the foundation. That's almost like my foundation of supporting West Ham were those years. That sort of early 80s to sort of 86.
Yeah, I get that.
We didn't necessarily perform very well in the early 80s, if I'm honest. But we always looked like we played entertaining football. We played nice, stylish football. And that's something that I'm really proud of as a West Ham fan. And I get that's why they had the backlash with Big Sam, but he was there to do a job.
Needs must, yeah, needs must, man, wasn't it? Needs must.
But yeah, I mean, from a reminiscent point of view, TC, absolutely brilliant. I bumped into him sort of several times. I went to a book signing for him and stuff, and he's just a nice. He is a West Ham fan for
really nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, he is what, like I say, as a kid, it's like, oh, he's come through the academy. Oh, he lives sort of local. He's a West Ham fan. A couple of years earlier, he was kicking a ball about on the park wearing a West Ham top. Imagine him playing in the team.
Exactly.
And then, what is it? 3 years later, he's scoring against Spurs on debut.
Mental story.
Who has a debut like that? Absolutely fantastic.
That's why you can relate to him as well, because he's in that position that every West Ham fan would love to be in.
Yeah, and I mean, again, another player that done 2 stints with the club. Again, wasn't particularly enamoured with the way he left in the first place, but he had to do what he had to do for himself, and I get that. As an older, guy, as someone with a family, I can relate to that now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And let's be honest, there wasn't much reinvestment from the club at the time, and potentially he was going to a club that was going to be challenging for honours. So, good luck to him. Yeah. He saw the error of his ways and came back to us, though.
Yeah, so, he did.
You can't knock him for that. But yeah, I always remember him one-on-ones. It was almost like his speciality. When he was one-on-one with a keeper, it was going to be a goal. You could almost turn around and sort of go, "Well, I'll go from a pie," because I know that he's going to be scoring that. So yeah, that was great. And just another reason to be a West Ham fan. He was one of ours, and at the time, much sought after and stuff. So yeah, no, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There's so much more I wanted to talk about as well.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. You go on for hours, can't we, with these things?
I could. You're so easy to chat to as well.
So, thanks. Thanks. Yeah. I wish my wife would say it sometimes. Don't I? Let's talk about West Ham. Yeah. Phil, man, honestly, it's been lovely chatting to you. I've really, really enjoyed it. I can see how much effort you've got into it. Not just on a PowerPoint perspective, but obviously there's been some agonising decisions there. Really appreciate you taking time. And obviously everyone watching will appreciate that as well, because they do. They love it when people put a lot of effort into these things. So thanks, man.
I hope someone's found the connection there. It's easy
definitely
to pick something out. So yeah, I mean, win or lose, we're on the booze.
We're still there. Exactly. Yeah. And obviously, thank you to everyone for watching as well. What to do: like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And until next time, for me and Phil, take care, everybody. We'll see you soon and stay safe. See you, everyone. Bye bye.
See you.